What is up, YouTube? I have a few more updates on this car. This is my 2002 Honda Insight, and I am continuing, have done a few things since my last update, and have done a few more and am doing a few more, so I thought I would shoot another quick video. One thing I was going to say at the beginning, I just kind of buttoned up the bottom, got all the aero panels back on after I did all the fluid changes and such. And before I put the car on the ground, I lubricated all the front suspension bushings. And you might remember, like back in the day, well, you'd have to be a little older to remember this, but you'd see the signs of places like Jiffy Lube, and it would say oil filter lube. And I've noticed in the last 5 or 10 years that lube has disappeared. But there is, back in the day, that was part of a service, is they would lubricate different parts of the car. And I would just say that lubricating the suspension bushings, particularly in the front of the car, makes a difference. This car is a little creaky. It's 22 years old. So, driving it around, there's a little, creaking and stuff. So I eliminated most of that by just shooting some silicone lubrication into the bushings. I'll show you where I did that. You might do it next time you're under your car. The control arms, there's one right there. You just shoot it all up in there. There's number 2 in the center, and then there's number 3. And so you got those 3 bushings, and then you also want to get the tie rods, which is right there in the very center of the screen. Get the tie rod bushings, bottom and top. And then I also just shot a bunch of silicone lubricant up at the kind of the bottom and the tops of the springs in the front. And again, made a nice difference, I noticed, after I took a drive. So just an idea if you're servicing your car. Hey, let's talk about these beautiful tires. These are very nice. Just got these on. Well, I'm talking about the wheels are very nice. And but I did just install these Falcon tires. These are not Bridgestone RE92s. They are actually 175, so it's 1 width wider than the stock, and that's kind of heresy in the Insight world. But the reason I did that is I had 2 new ones that actually, they were like new. They just had barely any wear on them, and they came on my blue Insight, which I got 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. So they've been sitting, again, pretty much brand new tires. So, I had the decision. I've got these great tires. They fit the car. They make it ride a little more comfortably. I could, spend $500 and get some Bridgestones, or I could spend much less and do this on a budget and put some good tires. So I went ahead and bought 2 more of the matching tire, the Falcon Sincera and 175, and had them put on there. And it does hurt gas mileage a little bit, although I'm about to show you that I don't think that's going to make a difference. But it does make the ride better, and I've rode around today for the first time since I put them on, and I did notice it was quite nice. Gas mileage in this car, I think it was 56, 57 or 57, 56. I don't remember what the EPA was for the CVTs, but I did 30 miles today around town on these 175s, and guess what? I think I got impressive numbers. I think I got right at the EPA. How did I do? Yeah, 56.8. So that's dead on with the expected, even with 175s. So point being, I don't think they'll make much of a difference, to be honest. A little bit. If you want to put Bridgestones on it, whoever purchases this, you can. Again, they're expensive. They're like $550 last time I checked. Things are getting more expensive, so that was a little bit of a way to save a little bit of money, and but I'm fine with it. And again, it does improve the ride. I'll be honest, it's kind of nice to have a nice riding Insight for a change. This one is rough. It's got 213,000 miles. This has half that, and it rides so much better. So with the bigger tires, it's just kind of deserves it, in my opinion. Also working on this. In a previous video, I showed you where I took this off and put some product in here to try to eliminate the leak that was back here in the hatch area, and that did not work. And so I had to do this anyway because this car has the seatbelt leak. The right side, I'm sorry, the driver's side is fine, but the passenger's is not. It was leaking. The seatbelt was wet after a heavy rain the other day. So I had to take this off anyway and put some caulk. I use window sealer actually around this. That's on all kinds of other videos, so I won't go back into this. But I noticed when I did this that when I took this piece off, I didn't realize this, but this crack you can see there goes all the way grab this little pick. This goes, you can see here, it just goes all the way. So I had, you know, obviously this was all covered when I did this piece and fixed that crack in there. So I didn't see any of this. So I'm thinking that's where it's leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all that in and then cover that. And then of course the procedure for doing that, which is again detailed elsewhere. Scott, Killer 3-Cylinder, has some great videos on that, and I've made a couple as well that are less detailed than his. But I got my new clips here. You can get these on Amazon. They're like 10 for like $22. Got my new clips in. It did break one of the tabs, but I got some Gorilla epoxy that's just about dry on that. That's gonna get it nice. That stuff works great. And yeah, that's about it. Next thing's going for the car, and then I'll be done with this video. I am going to go ahead and polish the windshield with some cerium oxide. I've talked about that in other videos. Look it up if you want info. Because I was just noticing today, again, I've driven about 30 miles now with the new tires, and there is a slight haze, road haze, that, you know, no amount of Windex will take out, no amount of brushing. It doesn't matter what you do, so it really needs to be polished. And I also took care of I think it's right there maybe. No, it's right here. We had a little, I don't know if you can see right there on top of my finger, but there was a little star from a rock chip, and I filled that in. I'll show you what I use. And again, I'm just trying to get this car as up to speed as possible for the next owner. I've got these. I just keep a bunch of these around because I'm always seeming to get these. So this is great. I've used a bunch of those, and it does great. Keeps it from spreading, keeps the crack from spreading, and then it also makes it less visible. So I'm going to polish that, and really after that, the only other thing I have for the car that I'm planning at this point is I'm going to get my paint body guy to do an estimate on getting these creases out. This car was just tapped in a parking lot when the previous owner owned it, and he never had it repaired. And so the paint is so good on this car. I mean, it's almost like new. It's been covered its whole life in a carport. So it's kind of a shame to have it so perfect. I mean, the wheels are just like perfect, but then have that. So if I can do that for probably, you know, under $500 or $600, I'm gonna get that done and kind of get it as far as it can go. I just kind of feel like the car deserves it since it's in such good shape. Okay, that's our update on the 02 CVT Insight. Got all these goodies that are gonna go with it. Extra serpentine belt, brand new key fob. Look at this, brand new. Thing is like perfect. Touch-up paint, extra plug, blah blah blah. I'll throw in some Pop-Tarts too. Aren't these your favorite flavor? Great camping food. Frosted brown sugar cinnamon. All right, that's enough babbling. Here's an oil filter which I'm going to throw in also. Here's my 02 CVT Insight. I'm going to do all those things I just mentioned, and then I'll be driving it another about 1,000 miles. Make sure everything's good, and then he'll be up looking for a new owner. Thanks for watching. Peace.